top half of Dragon on the trunk. That's the black section. It's allowed Dragon to gather energy from the sun on its journey to the International Space Station. Meanwhile, on the bottom half of the trunk, the white side is a thermal radiator. It can help keep Dragon cool. However, Crew Dragon, now being attached to the International Space Station, is running on space station power rather than any power of its own.
And as we're getting ready for these hatches to be open, Dragon will actually use sensors on board Dragon to check the pressure inside of the vestibule before we open up that Dragon hatch.
This all comes again after Crew Dragon's contact with the International Space Station happening tonight at 8:01 p.m. Pacific time.
Dragon Houston on Space to Ground 2. We will be transitioning audio, so you will be down comm for just a few minutes.
Dragon copy.
The Houston team letting Crew Dragon crew know they're reconfiguring to different audio configurations, and they'll regain communications with them shortly. As we saw earlier, the crew asked that the cameras inside be made external so we wouldn't get any interior views of Crew Dragon. That's because they will be doffing their suits, getting back into those comfortable clothes, preparing to ingress or enter the International Space Station once all of this pressurization of the vestibule and leak checks are complete.
And SpaceX, this is Dragon on Dragon and ground. We still got you. Hey, just want to give you a heads up, 5 Alpha decimal 5, suit drying is started for all 4 suits. Okay, copy that. 4 decimal 400, 1 through 3, and more.
So it sounds like the crew is out of their suits now, and they are now drying those suits. And if you are just now joining us, Dragon is now hard captured to the International Space Station. Kate Rubins is helping to get the vestibule ready and to the and prepared for hatch opening.
We also saw Kate Rubins getting that ready on the station side. She's already opened the pressurized mating adapter hatch. That's the hatch on the station side of Node 2.
And what you could see on your screen is mission control here in Hawthorne, California. They are getting together, they just got together for a group photo in celebration of this amazing Crew 1 mission. A lot of hard work put into this mission. So definitely want to capture that moment.
Absolutely. And right back to their stations they go, still monitoring the vehicle. It has been 27 and a half hours, maybe actually a little bit longer now, Of course, the teams rotate out every 8 or 9 hours to keep them fresh, but a lot of work put in on both the NASA and SpaceX sides to make this happen today, bringing the first long-duration crew to the International Space Station.
And so exciting. Very close for the crew to enter station. We're just getting prepared, making sure that the hatch, the leak checks are complete before we open up the hatches and let the crew on board. Crew is already out of their suits. They're getting comfortable and getting ready to board the International Space Station.
We'll also be anticipating a welcome ceremony later tonight for the crew once they ingress the International Space Station. We'll get to watch them greet all of their colleagues currently aboard, and then we will see them speak with the ground for a little while as well. We've talked about a lot of firsts on this mission. As we mentioned, this is the first 4-person capsule spaceflight ever, and it will also become the longest flight of a crewed U.S. capsule. The previous record was Skylab 4, and that was in 1973. It lasted for 84 days.
Wow, that's a pretty long journey. Right now on your screen, if you're just now joining us, you are looking at a live view of Dragon docked to the International Space Station. The crew still inside Dragon, preparing for hatch opening. They're out of their suits now, getting into some more comfortable clothes. Their suits are currently drying. And depending on how long these processes take for the leak checks and pressurization of the vestibule, the crew will be boarding shortly, and we'll be having a welcome ceremony.
Yeah, and this all comes after soft capture of the Crew Dragon vehicle happened at 8:01 p.m. Pacific time tonight, 11:01 p.m. Eastern time. Crew Dragon and the International Space Station flying 262 statute miles over Idaho.
Estação Espacial Internacional 2, 3 different folders of Dragon approach photos are available for you on SSC-8.
Copy. Okay, we'll take a look at SSC-8. Look forward to looking at those photos.
I think there's some pretty nice ones there. You guys are going to like it.
It is known objectively to be a very good-looking vehicle.
Absolutely concur. Shuttle station on Space to Ground 2. Are you okay with the Node 2 high-def or standard def cameras for the setup for ISS Experience Record? I'll do it in front of the cameras. That way we don't have to change the view that we've gotten prepped for PAO setup.
And we're checking. Stand by.
Again, at 4.400, ready to report states of charge when ready for the crew tablets. Okay, SpaceX tablet states of charge. Commander 42, MS1 45, MS2 tree 9er, and PLT 69%. And MS2 is tree 39er 39.
Station Huntsville on Space to Ground 2 for Kate and video. Good morning, Kate. We think that's a good view for now. We may need you to make some adjustments once you get into the activity.
Okay, copy. Thanks.
Dragon Houston on Space Ground 2 for comm check. Dragon Houston on the big loop for comm check.
And Houston, this is Dragon on the big loop contract.
We have you loud and clear.
And say again for Dragon on the big loop.
Houston, we were just giving you a comm check. We have you loud and clear.
Okay, we have you loud and clear as well.
Dragon SpaceX on Space to Ground 2, comm check.
And SpaceX, this is Dragon on Space to Ground 2. We have you loud and clear.
Excellent. Excellent. I have you the same. And do we have your permission to come back on board with video?
Negative at this time. We are still doing some configuration inside.
Totally fine. Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And just to let you know as well, we are not hearing any echoes on board at this time.
Copy. That's a good data point. Thank you.
station on Space to Ground 2. If you guys need a view of the ISS experience setup, I can move the Node 2 SD cam a little bit. I just would rather not move the HD cam. We got that all set up and did scene of voice checks yesterday.
And we copy, Kate. Stand by. I think we're going to have an input for you.
This is a live look inside the International Space Station, and we have been covering the arrival of the Crew Dragon Crew-1 mission. Now having arrived at the International Space Station, docking coming at 8:01 p.m. Pacific Time, 11:01 p.m. Eastern Time, as the International Space Station was flying 262 statute miles over Idaho. And since that time, there have been several steps through which the Crew Dragon crew and the crew aboard the International Space Station, Kate Rubins, as you see here, they needed to step through those before we can welcome the crew aboard. Kate Rubins first opened that impasse hatch on the International Space Station in Node 2, or sorry, the PMA hatch, the pressurized mating adapter. And she is inside that right now, and right behind her is the APAS hatch. She worked to pressurize the vestibule. The vestibule is a space between the APAS hatch on the station side and Dragon's hatch. Previously, before Dragon docked, the APAS hatch was exposed to the vacuum of space, and so we wanted to pressurize that area, make it the same pressure as the space station and Crew Dragon, so we can open that and begin welcoming our crew members aboard. So the vestibule has been pressurized. We'll see her do some work on the space station APAS hatch. Once it's open, she'll remove the docking target that the Crew Dragon vehicle used to locate and align itself with Node 2. Eventually, we will see the crew members come through the Crew Dragon hatch after that is opened. In the meantime, they've been doffing or taking off their spacesuits, getting into their comfortable clothes, stowing some things that they've been using for the journey. With the pressurization of the vestibule, we do a thermal stabilization check, meaning we hold for about 30 minutes to make sure temperatures aren't fluctuating in the vestibule area, which could give us misleading data, leading us to believe that the pressure itself is changing, but it sounds like everything has been holding steady. We're one step closer to being able to welcome the crew members aboard the International Space Station. Also coming up later tonight, we will have a welcome ceremony with the crew. They'll be speaking with teams on the ground. And this arrival kicks off a 6-month mission for the crew members. Our crew of 4, Commander Mike Hopkins, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Shannon Walker, and our international partner, Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Soichi Noguchi.
Station Houston, Space Ground 2 for Kate.
Hey, with you on 2.
Okay, while we are troubleshooting the ISS experience here on the ground, you are go for Dragon Ingress Part 2.
That's excellent. I just opened it. All right, copy go for the Ingress Part 2, and I'm stepping in on step 3.1. Do I have a go for the APAS equalization valve? Open.
And that's correct, Kate, your go.
Go, thanks.
Heard Kate Rubin speaking with the Capcom and Mission Control Houston, discussing troubleshooting the ISS experience. That is a payload allowing them to record what's happening aboard the International Space Station. Obviously, we have these views here, but that is a special payload. So they were just working on getting those views up.
Gas equalization valve is open.
Use copy.
So Kate just opened up the equalization valve, and this will let air in to the vestibule from the space station. We'll be monitoring.
I'll wait for your go in step 3.2 since you've got better insight.
And we are equalized. You are go.
We go.
And that was confirmation that the pressure is now equal between the vestibule and the space station. So we're getting very, very close to this hatch opening, step by step, but almost there.
Sounds like we're running about 15 minutes ahead in the process as well, so that's good news too. Coming up on about, since our crew launched at 7:27 p.m. Eastern time yesterday, coming up on about 28 hours, 29 hours since their launch, and their journey began in the Crew Dragon vehicle.
Station on Space Ground 2, step 3.3, GMT 524.
Copy 524.
Kate Rubens is in the pressurized mating adapter, now working on the A-pass hatch. She is installing a tool on the hatch that's used to open it. As we heard earlier, the pressure is equal, or the space between the A-pass hatch and the Crew Dragon hatch is pressurized. Once Kate Rubens opens the APAS hatch, she may get a look at the crew. There is a small window on the forward hatch of Dragon underneath the nose cone. During DM2, I believe we got a peek at Bob Benkin and Doug Hurley inside Crew Dragon after it had docked through that very window. Meanwhile, Kate Rubens taking some pictures to share with the ground later. These are still very new operations for the International Space Station, and so gathering this data and relaying it to the ground helps inform future spaceflight.
Houston Station 2, stepping into 3.6 for APAS hatch open.
Copy all.
Kate Rubens is following some standard procedures, and that is what she is confirming with the ground in Houston. And even those photos are a part of those standard procedures.
Houston Station 2, confirm this is a pull straight out for the APAS hatch.
You are correct, Kate, and it usually does take a bit of a pull.
All right, I didn't want to put force into the system unless you guys were expecting it, but it is definitely got some good self-sealing there from the vacuum.
We are with you.
Kate Rubens now preparing to open that APAS hatch, making sure what she's experiencing is nominal. The ground confirms it may be a little tough to open up that hatch.
This is the whole call Houston and check before you deadlift it up. It's open.
Copy all.
Rubens confirming the APAS hatch is open, and now we can see it for ourselves. Taking a look inside with the flashlight. She will also remove that docking target that Crew Dragon used to align itself with Node 2 when making its approach earlier today.
And a really cool shot from Dragon, seeing Kate inside of that vestibule. Kate saying hi to the world.
Just getting in there, getting a good look at the hatch seals, looking for any condensation before they proceed.
Houston Station on Space to Ground 2 in step 4.1, the APAS hatch is open, and the pressure, the IDA vestibule does not have any condensation upon inspection. Looks pretty nice. The last time I saw it was the outside of the IDA vestibule, and there appear to be 4 smiling crew members on the other side.
Copy. All configuration as expected.
And as Liam mentioned, she was able to get a glimpse inside of Dragon at the 4 crew members waiting to board the International Space Station.
Ruben's reporting everything looks good, and the next step is to remove that docking target that you see hanging down right there. It'll get that out of the way and prevent anybody from maybe bumping into it. Once she's stowed that docking target, we'll get ready for Dragon hatch equalization. That'll equalize the pressure between Dragon and the station, and then the moment we've been waiting for, we will open the Crew Dragon hatch, welcome those 4 crew members to their new home for the next 6 months. As Rubens works to open that hatch, we are transitioning over from TDRS satellites, that's tracking data and relay satellite system. The International Space Station goes through these handovers periodically. They are tracked by the ground, and we should regain video communications with them shortly. Just a reminder of everything that Crew Dragon has experienced on its journey to the International Space Station after lifting off from Kennedy Space Center yesterday at 7:27 p.m. Eastern Time. The crew conducted their first burn. Well, I can't say the crew conducted it, but Crew Dragon conducted the first burn last night and then moved on to get a little bit of sleep. So they got a good sleep period until this morning. We had some burns in between that the Crew Dragon computer determined that were needed to keep us on course. Completed the other 4 major burns today. That took us out of the rendezvous phase of the mission and then into the approach phase, which is where we've been for the last few hours. We completed the approach initiation burn, approach out of plane burn, and the approach initiation mid-course maneuver, and all of these lined us up exactly where we needed to be.
And that led us into finally approaching for docking, doing a soft capture, followed by a hard capture with those 12 hooks, hooks attaching to the International Space Station, and then finally arriving at the space station and completing docking. And right now, Kate is helping with getting the hatch ready, almost ready for hatch open for Dragon. She was able to get a peek inside through the window at the on the hatch of the crew members on board, and shortly we'll see them ingress the space station.
Absolutely, and it's been about 27 and a half hours of free flight time, well, I should say since liftoff. So it has been quite a journey for our crew members. I know they must be excited to have arrived to the space station, and the entire journey was autonomous.
For the snack bags, there are the decent snack bags still remaining for decent. We only consume the ascent snack bags.
Copy. That is a great confirmation. Thanks so much. That's all I needed.
That was just the Crew Dragon crew doing inventory aboard their spacecraft. We've mentioned a couple of times everything is meticulously tracked when you're in space, and so that includes any meals that are eaten, any items that are used, and any hardware that's being stowed. We want to make sure we know where it is.
This is what the crew was doing as they are waiting for Kate to finish up her procedures on the space station side. The crew, after they docked, they were able to get out of their suits, get their suits drying, and complete their inventory check as they wait for that hatch to open up.
And the most recent thing we saw, Kate Rubins, like I mentioned, this was an autonomous mission. The crew did not have to fly Crew Dragon. It flew itself completely all the way to the International Space Station. There's Kate Rubins, a view from the Dragon spacecraft itself. She is configuring the A-Pass hatch, putting the cover on top of the A-Pass hatch, and you can see she's removed that docking target that the spacecraft used to align and dock with the International Space Station.
Dragon at SpaceX on Dragon to ground. For your awareness, we are about to take down the S-band path, so from this point forward, please use the ISS Big Loop Space to Ground 2 path for all communication.
Again, if you're just now joining us right now, what you're seeing on your screen is a view from Dragon looking into the space station with Kate Rubins preparing for the crew to come on board. She's getting everything set up inside of this vestibule area prior to opening up the Dragon hatch.
Dragon. SpaceX on Dragon to ground for a comm check.
we have you loud and clear on Dragon to ground.
Awesome. We just wanted to let you know that we are about to take down the S-band path, which will take down our Dragon to ground voice communication. So from this point forward, please use the big loop.
We think you called that up a second ago. Maybe you didn't hear shit.
Yes, I think your call must have just dropped off. Thanks for confirming.
Now with some communication from the team here in Hawthorne, speaking with the crew aboard Crew Dragon, letting them know they are switching their telemetry or their sound communications lines with them. They'll now be communicating via the loops on the International Space Station. Kate Rubens finishing up installing the APAS hatch cover. Coming up next, we'll be looking for Dragon hatch equalization, equalizing the pressure between Crew Dragon and the International Space Station, and then it will be time to welcome our 4 new crew members aboard.
Thanks, Dragon, on the big loop. We forgot to tell you, you can come back on board.
We copy. Thank you so much. You just saw Kate Rubens installing the IMV duct, that's intermodule ventilation. That'll make sure the Crew Dragon is sharing the same air with the International Space Station, making sure that that's all being circulated in and out of the vehicle.
calls we'll be listening for is that station is ready for Dragon hatch equalization, meaning we want to equalize the pressure between Dragon and the space station. Once we get the go for that, we will stand by for that equalization, and then we will see hatch opening.
Houston and Moscow, station is ready for Dragon hatch equalization. Sorry, not Moscow, SpaceX.
And SpaceX, this is Dragon, 6.1 at 4.400. Dragon is ready for hatch equalization.
SpaceX copies.
ISS and Dragon, stand by for equalization, expected to take 5 minutes. Additionally, please note that we will be hot mic'd for the duration of ingress. Finally, for you, Kate, if you could please meet PACOM on Space to Ground 3, we have additional troubleshooting steps for you.
Okay, copy. And my apologies to SpaceX. I came up in a different vehicle, but I'm really excited to see this one, and I'm switching over to Space to Ground 3.
And the call we were looking for, that the International Space Station is ready for Dragon hatch equalization. We'll want to equalize the pressure between Crew Dragon and the International Space Station. It should take about 5 minutes. And then what we'll be looking for next is for Dragon hatch to open.
And the sensors on Dragon will actually be what we'll check to make sure that that pressure is good before we open that hatch. But if all goes well, sounds like we're 5 minutes away.
This also aligns us pretty well with our projection that it should take about 2 hours to move through these steps. Anything from hatch openings to leak checks, vestibule pressurization.
And as a reminder, once the Dragon hatch does open and the 4 crew members do ingress on the space station, there will be a welcome ceremony where the folks on board station will join those 4 crew members, welcoming them on board.
We heard Kate Rubins discussing, yes, she came up on a different vehicle. She arrived on a Russian Soyuz. Her Russian counterparts on the International Space Station are Sergei Ryzhikov and Sergei Kutsverchkov. They may join for the welcome as well. I'm sure they'll be very excited to greet their new crew members.
We are just a few minutes away from that pressure equalization between Dragon and the station.
This is Mission Control Houston. The team here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room has been following along all night. They're coming to the end of their shift as we near the opening of the hatch on the SpaceX Dragon. Kate Rubins has been working steadily through the procedure on her side of the hatch while the Crew Dragon crew members do their part on the other side. So we are expecting to see that just in the next few minutes. Scheduled to take place at 12:10 a.m. Central Time, but could be a little early. And once we do see all of the crew members on board together, we'll be ready to go into our welcoming ceremony that will be following that. Taking part in that welcoming ceremony, we are going to have the NASA Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate, Kathy Leaders, and the JAXA, or the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency President, Dr. Yamakawa Hiroshi. They will be talking with the crew as part of the welcoming ceremony as the Crew Dragon members, that's Mike Hopkins, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, and Soichi Noguchi, join the Expedition 64 crew for the first time. Expecting that hatch opening to come any time now, since Kate Rubens has been working speedily through her side of the procedures. This is only the second time we've opened a hatch on a Crew Dragon with people inside from the International Space Station, so still nailing down exactly how long it takes for the crew to complete these procedures. And like we said, getting through it a little earlier than expected tonight. Shortly after the welcoming ceremony begins, the team here in Mission Control Houston will be handing over to their Orbit 1 counterparts, wrapping up their part in the arrival of the Dragon at the International Space Station. And of course, following the festivities, we'll have one final news conference to wrap up the activities tonight.
Dragon SpaceX on the big loop. You are go for hatch opening per your decal, followed by the remaining actions in procedure 4.400, section 6.
Dragon copies. And hatch open per the decal and remaining steps in section 6 at 4.400.
Here they're the team on the ground giving the crew on board the Crew Dragon the go to open their side of the hatch, which is what we've been waiting for. So we should be seeing them floating through across the threshold to the International Space Station momentarily. For Mike Hopkins, Shannon Walker, and Soichi Noguchi, this will be a return visit to the International Space Station. Mike was there in 2014 for Expedition 3738 when he spent 166 days.
SpaceX, this is Dragon on the big loop, 6.6, 4.400, hatches open.
We copy, hatch open, great to hear.
And as you can see, they do have that hatch open now. They called down that came right at 12:02 a.m. Central Time. Hatches between the two vehicles open. Now we're just waiting for the crew to head to the International Space Station. Looks like they are waving hello to their new crewmates now. Also seeing here for the first time tonight the Roscosmos members of the crew. Sergei Ryzhikov, who is the commander of Expedition 64, and Sergei Kudzverchkov.
And Houston, this is Dragon on the big loop. IMV duct installation is complete. You are go for IMV fan activation.
Houston copies.
Crew finishing up some intra-module ventilation work there, getting air flowing between the space station and the Crew Dragon before they do make their way across the hatch. But again, that hatch is open now. That came at 12:02 a.m. Central Time. As I was saying a moment ago, this will be Mike Hopkins' second visit to the International Space Station. He was last there in 2014. Same for Shannon Walker. She was there in 2010 for Expedition 24 and 25 and spent 163 days on board the space station. Soichi Noguchi has been to the space station twice before for STS-114 in 2005 and in 2009 for Expedition 22 and 23. He's got 177 days already in space. But this will be the first time for Victor Glover to pass across the hatch and visit the International Space Station, kicking off their months-long stay in space when the space station will, for the first time, have 7 crew members on board for a full expedition.
Station Houston on Space to Ground 2, you are go in step 6.3.
And Houston from Dragon, was that a go for us to continue?
You are correct, Hopper. That's your go in step 6.3.
Copy inward.
Crew 1 crew members are working on a few final activities inside the Crew Dragon before they do make their way to the International Space Station. Making sure any loose items are stowed securely, and then also putting away the liquid LiO cartridges that they use to scrub carbon dioxide out of the air while they're on their way to the space station. Now that they are at the space station, they don't need those any longer because they'll use the space station system for that. Again, these are just the last few items before they'll be able to ingress the space station.
SpaceX Dragon on the big loop for LiO.
SpaceX here.
Yeah, just a question. Just want to confirm that you are supposed to put LiO cartridge 1, our original cartridge, into the active slot.
That is affirmed. That is what we want you to do, please.
Okay, thanks. And just so you know, we've got the echo.
Copy.
Shannon Walker there reporting down to the ground on the crew members' progress. Again, walking through just a few final items before they come on board the International Space Station for the first time on this mission. Again, they're putting away some lithium hydroxide canisters that were used to scrub carbon dioxide out of the crew members' air. No longer needed now that the Dragon is at the International Space Station. Seeing two-thirds of the current Expedition 64 crew here. Kate Rubins, of course, with NASA, and then the Expedition Commander, Sergei Ryzhikov, there on the right side of the screen. They, along with Sergei Kuzbirchkov, have all been at the space station since October 14th. Now waiting to greet the 4 new members of the expedition that will be joining them any moment. And there they are, first across the hatch, Mike Hopkins. And here's Victor Glover. You heard the crew here, the team here in Mission Control cheering to see them come across the hatch. There's Shannon Walker. And finally, Soichi Noguchi bringing up the rear. 4 new members, bringing the total Expedition 64 crew to a total of 7. Ready to increase the space station science and get to work.
Houston Station on Space to Ground 2, ready for scene and voice checks.
And we're ready.
Copy, let me know about scene and I'll give you a voice countdown.
And we are here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne. You've got a view of Mission Control Houston, or Mission Control Hawthorne right there on your screen. And we just saw the major event of the night.
The crew has finally come on board the International Space Station. A lot of smiles, a lot of hugs. The welcome ceremony is coming.
Did you copy the wireless mic?
Station Houston, that's a good scene check. We're checking something here on the audio, so stand by for another countdown.
Okay, sounds good. And let me know about lighting. I've got a work light, so I can move that as needed.
And lighting looks good, Kate. And if you could just do a quick 5 count, we'll do a quick audio check.
Copy and work.
These voice checks you're hearing coming from NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, now joined by 4 new crew members aboard the International Space Station, along with her 2 crewmates from Roscosmos, the Russian space agency, and they are setting up for the welcome ceremony.
Good countdown, thanks.
So we are standing by for that welcome ceremony coming up just a few minutes from now.
Yeah, and you can hear them getting ready. They're doing all their formal checks, mic checks, to get ready to bring the crew and welcome them on board. Very excited to see this. We already saw how excited the crew members were to get on board station. I can't wait to hear them talk in a few minutes here.
Yeah, absolutely. After their 27.5-hour journey to the International Space Station, finally making it to that destination, and they docked tonight at 8:01 p.m. Pacific time, 11:01 p.m. Eastern time, right on time, essentially, at the Node 2 port aboard the International Space Station, and now they will be there for about a 6-month mission.
Station Houston on Space Ground 2 for Kate. We had to do a quick reconfiguration here on the ground. Would you have a moment? If you wouldn't mind doing one more 5 count on the wireless mic. Or anyone can do a 5 count. Or anyone can do a 5 count.
Station, I'm ready for another 5 count.
On the wireless mic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And that was the best 5 count of them all. Best 5 count of them all.
Hey.
For those who have still been hanging with us, we are now coming up on the time for our hatch opening or welcome ceremony. That is scheduled for 12:40, about 5 minutes from now. And at that time, the entire crew will be joining on the with a couple of special guests from the ground. That's going to be NASA Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations, Mission Directorate, Kathy Leaders, joining here from Houston. And then from Scuba Japan, we're going to have the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency President, Dr. Yamakawa Hiroshi, joining as well. They'll be taking part in the welcoming ceremony, which is coming up in just 5 minutes now. The crew's done the necessary checkouts on board, so we'll just wait for everybody to gather before we begin that. Crew members gathering as promised for the welcome ceremony, which is now just moments away from beginning.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event? Houston, are you ready for the event?
At Houston, this is Station. We are ready for the event.
Mr. Morhard, please call station for a voice check. Miss Leaders, please call station for a voice check.
Hi, this is Kathy Leaders. Here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
How do you hear me?
How do you hear me?
Hello, Kathy. We hear you loud and clear.
Wow, I can't tell you how great it was to see you all come across the hatch.
It means a lot to me.
It just means a lot to me.
On behalf
of the joint SpaceX and NASA team, who you know have expended a lot of blood, sweat, and tears,
and our nation,
who's been following along with you as you guys have been going on your journey. I can't tell you how proud we are of you, and how much we want to congratulate you.
Mission. It's been really cool to watch you.
Well, thank you, Kathy. We just want to say thank you to everybody, SpaceX, NASA, the DoD, just all across the nation. It's been an incredible journey, and it's really amazing that this is marking the start of operational crew rotation missions to the International Space Station from the Florida coast, and so it was an amazing ride. I can't tell you how excited we were when that rocket lifted off the pad, and then the last 27 hours has gone really smooth, actually. And so we are so excited to be here. We are humbled, and we are excited to be a part of this great expedition. And so we are looking forward to the next 6 months and can't wait to get started.
Yeah, thank you for letting me get to say hello to you all and being there a little bit on station with you all. And I just want to tell you how proud we are of you. We're expecting a lot from you, a lot of good work up there. Not only are we proud in this nation of you, but our international partners are extremely proud of you. And I know I have some folks in Japan that also want to give you some greetings. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Mission Control.
Thank you, Ms. Leaders. We now welcome JAXA President Dr. Yamakawa Hiroshi to provide remarks. Dr. Yamakawa, please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Yamakawa. How do you hear me?
Yamakawa-san, we hear you loud and clear. This is International Space Station.
Thank you, Noguchi-san. We were very much excited about your launch this morning. It inspired courage and delight of all Japanese citizens who bear up COVID-19 pandemic. Anyway, I really feel relieved by your safe arrival to the station now. Noguchi-san, it is very significant for JAXA that you are on board the first operational spacecraft of Crew Dragon and was launched from the American soil. I believe that this is the outcome of the long-standing partnership with NASA and all the other international partners. I also believe that your efforts at ISS from today will take on more importance on the ISS utilization and operations, and for future international space exploration beyond the low Earth orbit to the Moon and Mars. We are always behind you. Good luck and enjoy your time in space. Noguchi-san, 皆さん全集中で頑張ってください。
Thank you, Dr. Yamakawa. Thank you for the kind words. And we are very humble and happy to be here. This is the first operational flight of the Crew Dragon. And I take 27 hours, but we enjoy every moment. And from now on, we are part of this great expedition crew member, Expedition 64. We have a lot of utilization ahead of us, and we are ready to work. 日本の皆さん、そして山川理事長、本当にありがとうございます。この ISS にまた戻ってくることができてとても感無量です。日本の皆さん、そして世界中の皆さん、今年はコロナはじめ非常に厳しい状況があったかと思いますけれども、この困難に打ち勝つという気持ちで我々もレジリエンスと名前をつけて頑張ってきてます。理事長おっしゃられた通り全集中で頑張りたいと思います。応援本当にありがとうございます。
Thank you, Ms. Leaders and Dr. Yamakawa, for your participation in the Crew-1 welcome ceremony. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communication.
Wow. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this coverage of our commercial crew mission, the Crew-1 mission aboard Crew Dragon to the International Space Station.
We watched them all the way from suit up yesterday to ingress on the vehicle, liftoff at 7:27 p.m. Eastern Time. First stage, giving them a ride into orbit as it returned back to Earth and landed on Just Read the Instructions, to Dragon separation yesterday and nose cone deploy. So today, through all the Dragon burns, 5 major burns on Dragon, and docking as well as ingress onto the station. On behalf of SpaceX and NASA, thank you for watching today's webcast and for your interest in this exciting, historic mission. Now that Dragon has reached the International Space Station, it will spend approximately 6 months docked there until it's time for Crew-1 to return home via splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean.
When it's time for Dragon to make its way home, we will be broadcasting its return from departure through to recovery live on SpaceX.com and NASA TV. Coming up next, we are going to have a post-docking news conference live from the Johnson Space Center, so stick around and hear from some of the key members of the NASA, SpaceX, and JAXA teams on this historic mission. Be sure to follow SpaceX and NASA on social media for real-time updates. We can't say enough what an honor it was to be part of this mission, how excited we are for Crew-1 for NASA and SpaceX. Thank you again for watching.